Get your haggis right here. Chopped heart and lungs, boiled in a wee sheep's stomach. Tastes as good as it sounds.
Hi, and welcome to The Curling Show, the podcast that brings you interviews with the sport's top athletes and the people who shape the game. Supported by listeners who have made secure donations at thecurlingshow.com. I'm Dean Gemmel, and in this edition, as you might have guessed, we talk to a player who's headed to the Ford Men's Worlds in Moncton from the country that started it all. A world champion in 2006, the runner-up in 2008, and currently number 19 on the Asham World Curling Tour money list, David Murdoch, welcome to The Curling Show.
Hi, Dean.
Hey, first, Dave, I think we all noticed you were at the Briar in Calgary last week, and you're back in Scotland this week, and you're headed to Victoria on Monday. You know, here in the United States, we catch a lot of flack for our knowledge of geography, but does anybody at the Scottish Institute of Sport know just how close Calgary and Victoria really are?
Yeah, I think they do, Dean. I think they do. We had some things to do back in Scotland when we got back with some testing and wanted to practice as a team the week before. We went to Victoria as well. So yeah, it's the two of us were out. It wasn't as if we were the whole team. I think if we'd been the whole team, would have stayed out for 4 or 5 weeks. But the other two guys have got jobs and things to do. So we thought we'd better head back.
All right, so you came back. You're at the Briar last week. I think you're probably like a lot of good players or great players from outside of Canada. You look at the Briar with just a touch of envy. What's your take on it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're sitting in the Saddledome, and there's 15,000 people watching curling, and you want a piece of that action. The closest the European and World Curlers get to that is obviously the World Championships are in Canada when it's held in Canada. So it's we get a little touch of that kind of excitement and the crowds when we attend some of the World Championship venues throughout Canada. But it sure would be nice if our national championship, 15,000 people came to see us. So
how many people watched your national championship final?
I think it'll be closer to 500 to 600, I would say. Certainly not in the thousands.
Is it in a curling club or in an arena?
We're in the club, yeah.
Okay.
They set up the club with dividers and we'll get TV and seating in the club as well. So it's a good setup.
Hey, let's talk about your team's season a bit so far this year. You're number 19 on the money list, which isn't too bad for a team not based in Canada. But I think one thing that jumps out maybe is no wins in events. Has that been troubling?
Yeah, I mean we had some finals early on in the season, and probably just weren't quite sharp enough, Dean. But we've been taking in some good tournaments. With a good result in Lloydminster when we lost to Kevin Martin in an extra end. So. In the semi-final, but we really base our season on the European Championships and World Championships, and they're our key events. It's medals that we're looking for, and we try to base our season around that.
You lost in the extra end to Kevin. You guys seem to, you play them tough no matter what. I mean, you beat them in the Page 1-2 last year. You lose an extra end in Lloydminster this year. Is there you're going to play them again in Moncton? Is there a certain mindset you guys are in against Kevin? Because a lot of teams, certainly have trouble playing them that tough.
I mean, it's Kevin, really, isn't it? You're up for playing Kevin, regardless where you are. But I think maybe we concentrate a little harder when we're playing. Certainly, we're playing the Canadian teams, and
I would hope people concentrate harder when they're playing Kevin Martin's team.
Maybe we do something a little different. I don't know. It's maybe we've just a style of game. It's slightly different to what the Canadian teams have been playing against them, and maybe that it seems to work a little. I don't know, but certainly we enjoy playing Kevin, and it's you want to keep testing yourself against the best, and right now Kevin's the best.
Now your team is you're the Olympic team for sure for next year, right?
Well, we've a squad of 6 players, and the 4 that are going to the World Championships with us are in that squad. And after the World Championships, there'll be one of the 6 will be taken out of the squad, and the final 5 will play as a team for the lead up to the Olympics.
So who else is in that 6? Who are the other 2?
The other 2, Warwick Smith and Craig Wilson.
Okay. The team selection process in Scotland, I'm a bit old school. I grew up in Canada, and an association type choosing a team is sort of leaves me unsettled, I think, like a lot of Canadians as well. I think the results could be called mixed at this point. You guys had the 4th place finish in Torino, but then you did get the gold at the World Championships that same year. Now, biased as I might be, why do you think this process might work for Scotland?
I'm really in favour of it, actually, Dean. It's we've a small pool of players,
right?
And obviously after picking the best players, and the 6 that are in the squad get on extremely well. We've all actually curled in our own teams with everyone. So it seems to work pretty well for us. And,
in 06, you had 10 guys in the mix, right? Early.
No, that was the last time round for Torino.
For Torino. I mean, leading up to 06, there were 10 guys in the mix, and then that came down to 5.
Yeah, that's right. I think we learned a little from Torino. There was 10 players, and that was even the final season that we were still a 10, and we only decided the 5 about 2 months beforehand. So I think we weren't quite sharp enough as a team going into the Olympics. Whereas by the time we got to World Championships, we'd had we'd had the Olympics under our belt and another Scottish Championship. So this time round it's a lot better. We started a year earlier with less players. So we're a bit more familiar with each other, and it's working well. Very happy with it.
Okay, well, what would happen though theoretically? Say if you said, I can't stand you and McDonald anymore. I want Tom Brewster as my 3rd. What happens?
I think you'll need to speak to the coach.
Really? That's what happens. It's the coach's decision, isn't it?
It's purely the coach's decision.
Wow. Yeah, I guess in some ways, it frees you up. I mean, you can't get as hung up on personalities as teams do when they basically self-select their own teams.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, the coach is looking at everything. He's looking at the play. He's looking at your fitness. He's looking at how you fit in well within the team, or what position you fit in the team. So. It's really challenging. It certainly keeps you very sharp in everything you do with your practice and your fitness work, and also when you're performing on the ice. So it keeps you at the top of your game for sure. And
like you said, I guess the difference is you really only have maybe 10 players who are legitimate contenders to be on the Olympic team. Yeah,
I mean there was a criteria. You had to have represented your country in the last 5 years, and obviously there's a criteria adherence to a busy schedule throughout North America and Europe and fitness as well. So it's I think there was only about 11 or 12 met the criteria.
So what would have happened if you played Tom Brewster in the final, the Scottish final? What would have happened if you'd lost to him?
Well, he would go to the World Championships, I suppose.
He would go. Would he go to the World Championships?
Yeah.
And why did he go to the last Capital One Grand Slam? That was one that left me scratching my head.
Well, I think Tom. I mean, we were asked to go, but as I say, we concentrate on the Europeans and winning the Scottish Championship, and it was just a little tight in going to the Slam this year. It was in between our district qualifiers, and we didn't want to be tired coming off the back of that. So Tom will get the invite, I suppose. So
you sent him and said, "Oh, go get tired, Tom, and then we'll come back and whip you in the final."
Yeah, he came back pretty good, but. I mean, we've played the Slam before and really enjoyed it, and hope to take in 1 or 2 next year. Certainly, the Masters of Cullen in Toronto will be attending that with the Olympic teams and I think 4 other Canadian teams. So it's we're hoping to enjoy that one.
The World's in Moncton coming up. Of course, as you say, you gear up really for the Scottish Championships, Europeans, and the Worlds. You beat Kevin Martin in the 1-2 game last year before losing the final.
Yep.
I guess from what you saw in Calgary, you're figuring that this team has slipped a bit, and you really have no problem with them in Moncton.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it's going to be a really tough world. I think it'll be similar to 2005 when the year before the Olympic Games. It always tends to be the top teams from every country sends their team, and it's going to be a tough one. It was certainly a tough one in 2005. I think there was 5 or 6 teams tied for 8 and 3 for first place. It's going to be a tough event, and obviously Kevin's he's in great form. There's certainly no one in Canada beating him just now. So it's
Thomas Ulsford's also had a really good year on tour, actually.
Thomas has been playing well. We got on great with those guys, and obviously played with him in the Continental Cup and had a lot of fun there. But yeah, the guys are playing really well. Play a really good style of curling, and seem to do pretty well as well. So.
Hey, unfortunately, I can't tell from the Moncton World site who the German team is. It Andy Kapp? Is he back again?
Yeah, it's Andy Kapp, and he's going to the Olympics as well. So he's qualified for.
Does he still have the guy, the front end player with those X-ray specs, the glasses?
Yeah, Hoga. Yeah, Hoga's still playing. Yeah, for sure.
I swear he looks like a villain in a James Bond movie. I like it.
So. I think he would pull that off pretty well.
Very intimidating, but anyways. Hey, you're basically listed as a professional curler. Your daily routine is all sport, I guess through the Scottish Institute of Sport. Do you ever make the guys you play in Canada and in the United States jealous by telling them about your daily routine?
Well, some of these guys are practically professionals in Canada as well, are they not?
That's true, but they still have to go maybe man the M&M meat shop for a couple hours, things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Or hit the fire hall.
Yeah, that's right. But it's a dream job just now. A full-time athlete, so it's great. I mean, the funding program within the UK is absolutely fantastic just now, and given that opportunity to try and achieve an Olympic medal, that's what they're looking for, and that's why we're training so hard, really.
And how important are things, like you have a nutritionist, you do a lot of off-ice training. How important is all that?
I think it's hugely important. Certainly, it's starting to become a huge part of curling. Certainly, you look at Ben and Mark and Kevin's front end and how strong those guys are sweeping. And if you're not fit in curling, you're not going to do too well. If those guys take a stone an extra inch further than any other team, well, that's an inch that you might win by.
That was the game they won against Howard.
Yeah, exactly. So it just shows you how important the fitness side is, and we do a lot of work in fitness back here in Scotland.
Nutritionist, does she tell you, or he or she tell you to lay off the haggis, or what? What goes on with the nutritionist?
Oh, no, I can't stay off the haggis, no way.
Haggis is fully acceptable, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's top of the menu.
It's got to be healthy, actually. Something that insane to eat must be healthy.
Oh, it's all good. Have you tried it?
Have I tried it? Yeah, I have tried haggis. Actually, I quite enjoy the haggis.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I quite enjoy it. I think it gets a bad rap, but you just don't think about what you're eating. It's quite good.
Exactly.
Hey, what's a practice on the ice like for David Marr? Do you guys practice as a team usually, or do you practice individually?
Yeah, well, mainly, actually, three of the team, myself, Ewan, and Pete, practice pretty regularly in Perth. That's a couple of hours from us. But Ewan's north of Scotland. He's in Inverness, so he tends to struggle to get down from work to try and meet up. But yeah, I mean, we're all practicing in our home rinks, and we're trying to meet up 2 or 3 times a week as well. So it's pretty busy.
Do you have a coach on the ice when you're practicing, or?
Yeah, Dave Hay, the Olympic coach. He's been our coach now for the last 2 or 3 seasons. So.
And are you like Glenn Howard? Maybe the pure thrower in the game seems to just go out and throw rocks, but because he's that good. But do you do drills, or what do you do?
A bit of a mixed bag, really. I mean, it's nice when you're on your own just to go and throw rocks, but then as a team, we'll practice a lot of shots that you play in a game. Certainly, for the lead, your tick shots and going up through the rink, you want to practice some of the shots you'll be making. I read a comment about Brad Gushu was saying some of the big roundhouse shots that are being made in the Briar, and certainly you want to be practicing some of those, when you're practicing as well, because you just never know when you might need to win a game with a shot like that.
So how many times do you practice Hemi McMillan's round the world shot?
I think I've maybe had one go.
Yeah, all right. Hey, as much as I cover the competitive game, there's also always a lot of talk and concern about the grassroots level. What are participation levels like in Scotland right now for curling? Is the game growing at all at the grassroots level?
Certainly, there's a lot of effort to make it grow, Dean. There's with a lot of development officers throughout Scotland and in each region, trying to promote the game, and we're trying to get a lot of kids in from school, and they're coming in during school time to try and encourage them to obviously to start curling. So yeah, I mean, it's very positive from that point of view, and you've got the Olympic Games coming up next year, and that'll give us a lot of exposure again. So hopefully we'll feed off the back of that.
Hey, my understanding is in Scotland there's a curling facility, and then you join a club within the facility, and there are a lot of different clubs within that facility. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and your father, Matt, is president of the Royal Caledonian Curling Club this year, I understand. He presents the gold medals to Scottish teams, like at the Europeans, and I guess at the Worlds he would too. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. It was a very nice experience.
What does he say to you?
Not very much. I think he had a bit of a tear in his eye, actually, when he was
He doesn't say it's about bloody time or something like that, or, you know?
Well, maybe.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, he loves curling. He's came around the world to watch us so many times, and the fact that he's the president of the Royal Club this year, and he got the chance to put the gold medal round our necks at the Europeans was great. So we'd like to do that at Moncton as well, obviously.
I love the Blazers. The Blazers you guys have are really clearly the best in the game. But
yeah, they're certainly bright anyway.
Yeah, they're sharp. You go to the Olympics, you're going to play as Great Britain. You play in the Worlds of Scotland. Is that just something that's just natural when you grow up there? I mean, it doesn't seem strange or odd, or are you like a, do you feel Scottish and strange to put Great Britain on your back?
No, I don't think. I mean, it's an absolute honour to represent the whole of Great Britain. You're representing the four home countries, and you're part of a huge squad and a much larger country. But I'm Scottish through and through, and we're not World Championships, obviously. Very much Scottish, but the chance to play for Great Britain, it's certainly something you grew up with as well, to watch all these talented Olympians bring back gold medals.
Yeah, and England, Ireland, and Wales, I think, have all tried to at least get to the Worlds in curling, right?
That's correct. Yeah, they've all.
They've had like transplanted Canadians give it a go or something, or what?
Sorry?
They've had transplanted Canadians try or things. I don't know what. I don't quite know the history of it, but there have been different teams try, right?
Yeah, that's right. There's been a few teams from the home countries that have tried to. I mean, it's open to all the players throughout the counties to try and get into the Great Britain team as well. So it's certainly available to everyone. But
there's like one club in England, right? I mean, that's one facility.
Yeah, there's one in Kent, way down the south.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure how many members, but maybe it'll grow.
And how many facilities are there actually in Scotland to curling?
I think there's. It's been a while since I had a count, but I think it could be close to 30.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, David, we finished with the run back. I give you a topic, you give me your thoughts in 1 to 3 words.
Okay.
James Dryburgh.
Friend.
Yeah, you played with James, right, in 1998, right? Won a World Juniors with him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, still keep in contact with James.
And then he got wise and met a Swedish woman and left Scotland.
It was a wise move.
Yeah. Curling Zone's Jerry Gertz.
Oh, great fun. Great guy. Full of knowledge.
I heard he padded your stats a little bit, though, during that Scottish final.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, you offered him a few pints. That's all it takes with Jerry, I think, really. The Lyburn brothers.
The Lyburns, great fun. Not seen in a long time. I think one of my first trips to Canada in 2002 as a men's team, we stayed at the family farm with the Lyburns, and we had some great fun with those guys. I
got to have those guys on sometime. What happened? They just pulled up stakes and moved to Manitoba one year?
Just after they won the World just after they went to the World Junior Championships, I think they moved from Stranraer out to Manitoba. So it's been a long time since I've seen those guys. Actually, it'll be good to catch up.
And they just decided we're going to move to Manitoba and buy farms and curl.
I think so. It sounds like a good plan.
Eve Muirhead's second straight World Juniors win.
Oh, amazing! What a talent! Really, just she's got the world at her feet. I think if she keeps a level head, and she's certainly got a lot of ability.
John Morris.
John Morris. Great curler, absolutely fantastic. He's in top form just now, and pleasure to watch.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. Famous Scotsman, I suppose.
See, now he'd like you playing in the Olympics of Scotland. I know that.
I would say.
Yeah.
Might be a good move.
I don't even know if you answered that one. I don't even know if I let you. I just...
number one, James Bond.
All right. Yeah, that's probably true. Team Norway's uniforms at last year's Ford World Championships.
Awful.
Have you talked to Thomas? Have they got a little upgrade this year? Maybe they got long sleeve T-shirts?
They might have been shopping. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see with those guys. But,
I think they just stop at the Walmart on the way to Moncton and pick up some unis again.
they definitely did. They definitely did. Yeah, we gave them some stick about that. That was pretty funny.
Those were sweet. I was like, what happened? I thought they lost their luggage or something, maybe. But,
they're fashion guys.
Yeah. The absence of teams from outside of Canada in the Grey Power Players Championship.
Yeah, I mean, disappointing, really, but understandable.
Yeah, I hope that maybe actually after this, I mean, they sort of got locked into it with the way the Canadian curling trials run, but maybe after this in the next cycle, they'll figure out how to make that have some international teams back in. Although, if you look at the top 16 men's, I guess it's Canadian teams, but still.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we'd certainly make an effort to come over and play that. That would be a great event to come to, but understandable. They're trying to sort out your trials process, so it's.
The Scottish women playing with 3 at last year's World Championships in Vernon.
I better pass in case they get taken to court. That's a real.
There's all sorts of briefs and legal stuff going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going down with that. I mean, it's just a bit of a mess.
It's like the Watergate of Scottish curling over there. It's unbelievable. You know what? Actually, I got a message from Chad McMullen. He wants to know what the weather's looking like tomorrow. The mighty Arsenal are up north at Newcastle.
Well, the weather's pretty good, and Newcastle, I don't know, they're struggling just now, so I'll predict a win for Arsenal.
All right, and it's Chad McMullen from Rocks and Rings and Things in Canada. Good guy. And finally, I got to ask you about Scotland's loss to Ireland in the last Six Nations fixture.
Yeah. Annoying, really. Annoying. Yeah, we're not having a good year, actually. The rugby team, we're struggling a little bit.
Yeah. Well, they were worried about scrum half Mike Blair being in the lineup, but I guess he's back against England. He's fit enough. Yeah. I mean, we've got some good guys coming up. Hopefully next year we'll prove to be a little stronger. All right, David. Hey, I appreciate your time. I ask everybody at the end of the show to name their sponsors. Do you guys have corporate sponsors, or is it really British or Scottish or British Institute of Sport behind you? Yeah, I mean, we're backed by UK Sport and Scottish Institute of Sport, but our main sponsor for the team is Primary General Insurance Company. So, we owe them a lot as well. So fortunately, you're not backed by Royal Bank of Scotland. Pardon? You're not banked by Royal Bank of Scotland, at least, right? No. Because they'd be asking for money back. Yeah, possibly at this moment, yeah. All right, Dave, thanks for your time. Good luck in Moncton. I think it's fun to watch you guys play. I enjoy the style you guys play. So good luck out there, and maybe we'll talk again. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. That's David Murdoch on The Curling Show. Before I go, I want to make sure American listeners know that the Universal Sports Network will be broadcasting games from both the Women's World Championships in Korea and the Ford Men's World Championships in Moncton, New Brunswick. It looks as though women's games will be available to those who have the Universal Sports Channel on March 28th and March 29th, with a lot more games shown throughout the week at universalsports.com. For the full curling schedule, I'd suggest you visit universalsports.com/curling. As always, thanks for listening. Here's Black Pudding. Don't you know it's hard for me to see things that I cannot find? How can I tell if it's a dream or just all in my mind?